under control. Check. Right. Check. Stop. The cavalry's here. Check. Right. Ha! That'll show 'em. Check. Right there. Whoa! Check. Check. Whee! Check. All right, everyone, let's do this. Keep calm. And tracer on. Keep calm. Nothing's gonna stop me. No. Check. The bomb. Pick it up. Check. Here's love. Nailed it. Check. Gotcha. On target. Check. Smashing. Time's up. Check. Check. Whoa! Check. Looks like you need a timer.
To know yourself is to be at peace. To know yourself. After this, there will be only one victory. Dope. Dope. Very well. Now we fight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Community Shield Cup Overwatch by Versus Gaming, guys. Today's a beautiful day because we are watching the finals, and I am joined by my also awesome co-caster, Ulturism. Ulturism, say hello.
Hey guys, I'm very, very excited for tonight. I mean, this is what it's all come down to. This is the finals. This is where it really, really counts. The Community Shield 2 is upon us, and we have two incredibly strong teams here tonight. And what a story it's been to get us to this point tonight.
Yes, I'm quite interested to see what happens because these two teams, basically, Noobs Inc. just completely walks all over the teams and, you know, walked their way up to the finals. And then when it comes to Team Viral, they actually lost the first round to Ecstasy, but then in the loser bracket, they just walked their way up into the finals. So these two teams, I think, are going to be very neck and neck when it comes to this kind of situations, especially because all these teams have been improving. I've seen a lot of improvement from Team Viral at the moment, so I'm quite interested to see what they are going to be doing.
I must admit, like, what a fairy tale story. Getting knocked out in the first round by Ecstasy and then fighting and 2-0ing every team. And they've gone up against some amazing opposition. I mean, they took on Phoenix Rising in the first round. They took on LP Novix in the second round, who's probably top 3 in the country at this stage, managed to take them out in a 2-0 victory. Then they went on to take on DDC Dominion, again, a top 3 team. And then 2-0 them and Damage Control. These guys have come out of nowhere. They've been around for a while, but they have shown such amazing team play in the last couple of rounds that they've earned their place in this finals. And even if they don't win tonight, they really, really have shown what they can do. I'm very excited to see, though, if they do manage to pull it off. Because remember, as far as I know, this is a double elimination tournament. So even if they do take the first 2 games, we then go into a second best of 3.
Yeah, that is correct. So apparently, guys, the draft has already been made. Sadly, we missed that. Now I'm also struggling to actually get the maps out of this place because they are spamming so much. Guys, just another nice little hoorah. It seems like we have another one of the versus Gaming Casters who's actually playing tonight, and that is Scoper, who is playing for Noobs Inc. So Noobs Inc. actually got a new player in their lineup today. So this should be quite interesting to see what Scoper, who his name in the game is SZZ, so I'm going to be calling him Scoper because I actually know Scoper back from the Battlefield days. He used to be the only one who has given me so much hell in a chopper. So yeah, we come a long way, but now I should be casting the games from my perspective. Sorry about that. Yes, it's a bit of a tongue twister we have there. Yeah.
That's what happens when you're an Afrikaans. I mean, I stumble over words, and I'm English first language, so I don't blame you for a second. I mean, the number of times I've stumbled over the word soldier 76. That's the embarrassing one. So don't worry about the word perspective. But we do have our maps for the evening. It's going to be Gibraltar, then Numbani, then Eichenwald, which is a very, very interesting setup. No control point maps, no King of the Hill maps. We did see that the last game we casted, I think it was the Egyptian one. God. It's Anubis, thank you. Man, that is disgusting. So, we saw Anubis come out last time, and that was quite an interesting, very fast game, that one. And so we've got 3 payload maps, well, hybrid maps in some of the cases, but Gibraltar and Mbambi.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Yes. Yeah, it's actually a best out of 5, and Noobs Inc., who was the winning team, actually is already on a 1 map advantage because they did are the winners so far in a winner bracket. So this is going to be a best out of 5 at the moment, where Noobs Inc. has 1 advantage and to start off with.
And the last 2 maps.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to get the maps here. This is a bit of a confusing day for us all, guys. Sorry about this. Even the teams were confused about it.
I'm really glad that we started and chatted about that first and just check. So we have Lijiang Tower as the 4th map then. So we should see. I mean, I doubt either of these teams is going to give us a clean sweep at this stage. So we probably are going to see a King of the Hill at some stage, and 5th is Dorado, so just 1 King of the Hill, and then Dorado being the last one. Very interested to see Numbani. We don't often see that, and that's a really nice, not a lot of choke points in that map. So I'm very interested to see. We've got such a nice combination. We've got Eichenwald, which is probably the best, or one of the hardest chokes to break through in the game out of all the maps. And then we've got something like Numbani, a very open first point. So I'm very excited to see how these teams adapt to it, what sort of strategies we get. Any ideas from your side?
Well, actually, to be honest, I haven't really, we haven't actually casted Noobs in quite some time, but what I do remember is they were actually very, they thought a lot outside the box. So when it came to changing about the compositions and everything and changing their strategies, they are quick to adapt to those kind of situations. So even I think when it comes to these small areas, tight fits, tight squeezes, and everything, I'm sure they'll be able to bring it out. The best of their side and the worst of the enemy side. So I think this is going to be I think Team Viral is definitely going to have to pull up their socks and show a thing or two. But when it comes to the Noobs defense, I cannot really comment on that. But when it comes to their offense, I know they basically they're gonna stick a heavy dive comp and just jump on in there and see focus. I think they're gonna focus first on the supports and then move from there. But other than that, it's all a mystery at this moment for us.
No, it certainly should be interesting, and especially considering we've had a patch about halfway through this tournament, if I'm not mistaken, or did the patch come out before, where teams are still busy trying to settle down into the meta. I mean, Roadhog, who was a must-pick previously, is now considered by many almost a useless hero at this stage, or certainly not a must-pick. We've got Reinhardt, who's seen a massive drop in popularity across the board, across all skill matches, just because of the prevalence of the dive comp at this stage. So I'm expecting to see a lot of Genji, a lot of Tracer, a lot of Winston becoming the prime tank. We've seen a couple of teams running Sombra very, very effectively, and I just have to bring up Sombra just because the side of Viral has, as their logos, they have all the Sombra pictures. So maybe they know something we don't, and I'm very, very interested to see. I know Nyanfo is a very, very avid Zenyatta player, and Zenyatta's seen a lot of strength in this new meta with those Discord orbs, allowing that dive comp to just get kills very, very quickly. And it's going to be interesting to see if Team Viral can jump and do a reverse dive and just try to take him out in the background, because he is one of the more prone heroes to a dive comp.
That is correct. But it seems like we have our first point, Watch Point Gibraltar, and we have Noobs Inc. on the defending side, and we have Team Viral on attack. And already we see, oh, Mongers, you are my hero. So you are taking a Torbjorn. That is definitely the real MVP. Guys, just a quick disclaimer. I was a Bastion main, but I have moved over to a one-trick Torbjorn, which a lot of you, I'm pretty sure I've noticed. But damn it, Mongers has sadly forsaken my little urge there, and he switched. But it seems a very already aggressive picks I'm seeing from the side of Noobs here. Diva, which is Scope at the moment, he seems like to be taking a Diva, which is actually one of the most players, well, the new upcoming tank at this moment, with the new nerfs and everything that's come to the latest patch. And also Nyanfo, who is playing Zenyatta, so it's also a must pick for this moment. With, you know, Zenyatta also, you know, I think with all the changes coming to other players, you know, some of the other characters who don't even get touched, you know, get a bit of a boost when it comes to other aspects. But other than that,
Diva just allows you to mitigate so much of that damage against, especially a dive comp. If you can just draw out that time to kill, it really opens up position for you to take them on. Gyro picking up the Hanzo there. Both teams actually mirroring each other perfectly, except for Gyro and Like a Luke preferring that soldier, which is just the more consistent DPS. But Gyro pulling out that Hanzo, just probably hoping to get a quick pick in the beginning of this. And we see a very aggressive dive there by Zenran in the beginning. And Like a Luke has actually already gone down on the soldier. So there's a big chunk of the DPS that's already been taken out of this. He'll be sprinting back to the front lines there. But the rest of Noobs seems to be very healthy at this stage. Scope is just managing to take out a lot of damage, and there, really nice dive in from the side of Noobs. Manages to get 2 picks, Zenran and Rain, both of the supports going down, and Team Viral just has to back up, I think, and just get themselves recollected at this stage. They had a really nice dive out in the beginning to take out Like a Luke, but they lost too many and just need to gather themselves before this next push.
Yeah, you actually saw the start. The Zenran actually tried to boop them off to the top, but the Noobs Inc. defense is just too strong at the moment. They're holding that top ground so well, not, you know, overcompensating or anything like that. They're just holding it, but it seems like we have Team Viral that is actually pushing the payload with nobody stopping them. And here we see Greffel really jumping in with the Winston, causing so much havoc at the moment. Pulling off just in time, but he's getting chased by Sixers. The other Winston at 6 taking down Like a Luke there, taking down, and Nyanfo also taking down the enemy Genji. It seems like nobody's on the payload, leaving completely unattended. But the side of Noobs Inc. is still holding that point pretty well, having the high ground to their advantage.
guys are just so so knowledgeable about the extents that they can push these heroes to. Griffith maybe just extending a little bit, overestimating that 1000 HP on the monkey, managing to get the Diva mech out. Now we see a Dragonblade coming out from Light and doesn't manage to pick up anything. Nianfo pops the Transcendence to keep the rest of his team alive as the monkey from the side of Team Viral jumps in and tries to make something happen. Everyone just drops back though, and it seems that Noobs may just be taking the upper hand at this stage, but you got to remember the respawn advantage is in the favor of Team Viral at this stage.
No, that is definitely correct. The spawn might be in favor of Team Viral. But then again, Noobs Inc. did have the height advantage, but it seems they are moving off completely back to the payload now, and they managed to push the whole Team Viral offense back, with them losing their main DPSs and basically one of their supports. But they are regrouping, and they are going to take they are going to make use of the high ground now, but it seems like Light and like Lucas already on the top there, stopping them. So it seems like the Noob offense has already seen what's happening and, you know, already adapting to that, which is one of Noobs Inc.'s high traits, I would say, for this moments.
Certainly, it's amazing how spread out this team is, but they're still so aware of where everyone else is and who needs help. We see a couple of the guys in the background, they're just shelling damage into the front. They actually managed to bait out that Transcendence from the side of Team Viral as what a powerful pushing tool that is. And now we just see Six jumping a little far forward, knows the extent of his hero though, and Team Viral has not managed to actually get on this payload now in the last minute or so, and they have now pushed heavily forward. Nianfo's down, Griffith's down, Mongas falls very soon behind him, and they've only lost range, so this may just be the push here from Team Viral. It needs to be though, with only 35 seconds left on the clock. They need to get this all the way. They don't have time to pick off another fight.
Yeah, you can actually see that Light and Scope was actually trying so hard to stagger the enemy team, you know, keeping them busy while the rest of the team came for support. We see here Zelensa now also with a Dragon Blade, so both Genji's Dragon Blades, they're both going crazy. The kills are getting traded, but only one kill from each side. And it seems like Six also of that Winston's going bananas at this moment, and as they are definitely pushing that payload. And it seems like Rain on that little Zenyatta of his just throwing those balls, but is not getting anything at the moment. Six getting another kill on Scope of it. Transcendence coming aside from the Nianfo, so they are definitely holding their payload, and the overtime clock is ticking, but it's holding still at the moment because they're all on the payload. Kraken is going a nice self-destruct on the payload, pushing them all off. Nothing coming from because Grifflet was standing right there with his shield.
That bubble's just so useful to drop right next to it, and he can contest, and he's got the health to even survive through if anyone. All the squishies run for cover, and it's now going to be a very hard task for Team Viral as they start losing. Silencio's down, Krakens has fallen, Zenran very close behind them now. The rest of the team has been pushed off, and that is a full hold by the side of Noobs Inc. Really well played, never overextending, never trying to chase back those last few kills, and just using their ultimates really, really well. I felt that they just staggered them perfectly well to always just keep someone on the payload, keep it contested, splitting up when they need to, pulling together when they get a dive on top of them, and they never really gave away some silly kills. And all in all, an excellent defense by Noobs Inc. And it's going to be a very, very hard task for Team Viral to actually manage to shut it down this quickly. They basically have to try and hold it in this tunnel at the bottom.
No, that is definitely some good points there. Noobs Inc. can definitely give themselves a nice little pat on the back there, because that was an amazing defense, and you know, as you said, they never overextended when unnecessarily. The only one who did overextend was Griffin, but that was actually, I think, just, you know, to buy them some more time when the rest of the team came up. But other than that, the team did insanely well. But it's now time for Team Viral to show they can defend. But, you know,
little bit of change up here in the teams there. We see on the Noobs Inc. keeping it pretty much exactly the same, assuming they aren't going to change now in spawn. Like Luke just swapping off the soldier, instead going for a tracer, maybe trying to get around to the back and reinforce that dive comp there. We see a lot of changes coming out from the side of Team Viral. We've seen Gyro going now instead for the soldier, just wanting to get more of that consistent damage. Both of the defending sides have now favored that. We do have Rain now swapping off the Zenyatta, instead going for the burst healing of the Ana at this stage. That means they're going to lose the Transcendence if things go south, but they certainly have a lot more offensive capabilities with that Nano Blade. Everyone else pretty much staying the same, and it seems like these teams are very, very happy with the way this is run. And interesting fact though is Team Viral has decided not to take the high ground at this point.
Yeah, I'm finding it very interesting at the moment. Watching him, he's sitting there hiding actually around the corner. So they're gonna catch Noob Inc. off guard, going a full offensive right there. Already getting a kill on Yamfo. That's really taken down. Reyno sadly to get to follow up there. So Griffin already get taken down. It seems like they are trading each on each. It's neck on neck at the moment, but it seems like the side of Noobs Inc. has lost both their support moments, but they have the spawn advantage. So it seems like Team Varus gonna have to try something else because they are losing their people left. Kraken since a loss of life and gets taken down there. So that was a nice attempt at catching Noobs Inc. off guard, but sadly it didn't work out because Noobs Inc. was very fast to repel that little offensive they had there. You know, sometimes we'll say a good defense is an offense, but sadly it did not work for them in this case.
It was a very all-in play, and I think that's what they needed at this stage. Is if they just sat on that high ground, they were going to have to do an exceptional job to make sure this payload didn't get pushed. And instead, they tried to go for that all-in, tried to get that very surprise pick there, and they didn't really manage to do anything out of it. Trading very, very evenly, but the reinforcements for the side of Noobs was just way too fast. And now we see them pushing this payload quite far forward. A lot of the players from Team Viral have gone down, as we see the Dragon Blade being pulled by Light now. Gets 2 already and has already got the soldier. So there's another one going down for him. It's just the Winston left alone on this point. How much longer can he survive as that payload does get pushed over the finish line? And in just a minute and a half or so, Noobs manages to take this first round.
Yeah, that was actually a very fast offensive there. But sadly, you know, when it comes to Watch from Gibraltar, if you cannot get past that first point, it's going to be a very fast game unless you have some amazing defense. But sadly, you know, Noobs Inc. has shown that they are the best team on this map, but it's nothing yet. And as you can see, Light with the Genjis as always, getting a nice little player of the game. Surprisingly, not a Dragon Blade. Oh, sorry, no, I spoke too soon. He got a Dragon Blade. Getting at least a double kill.
And it doesn't actually show. He gets another one after that, and then he helps to take down the Winston. So really good positioning all in all from the side of Noobs Inc. at this stage. Just unfortunately not a great defense from Team Viral, but I don't think that's a lack on their side. I think Noobs is just really showing why they've stomped their authority on this competition. They have not dropped a game at this stage, whereas Virals had to fight their way up from that loser bracket. And Noobs just again showing complete dominance. This is now a 2-0 lead for them if you guys are just joining in. I'm Ulturism. You're joining me on SaberFox910's channel, and we're watching the finals of this Community Shield Cup 2, where Noobs Inc. has now a 2-game advantage and only needs one more game to shut out this best of 5.
Yes, guys, also I just want to announce a little something for people who do not know. It was actually brought to my attention today that Overwatch will actually be played at the championship. So yes, that's gonna be exciting news for all the teams, because that means they're all gonna be gathering together at the Coca-Cola Dome with DGC. Sorry, it's not DGC anymore. It's not gonna be VSC, which is the versus game. Well, actually. So the Versus Gaming Championship, I'm just going to go over that for now. But yes, all the teams are going to come together. They're going to see each other live. I'm not sure about the international players. That's going to be a bit of an expensive trip, you know, for them over to come down for a weekend. So we're going to have to see how that happens. But, you know, all the teams are going to come together. They're going to meet each other, see how they play in person. And that's always one of the main things, you know, is to, you know, put a face to that name and everything like that. And hopefully we'll be able to cast those games as well for you guys. So that'd be quite interesting to not be able to just be there, but to cast it live for you guys at the Coca-Cola Dome. So then, you know, those games can best definitely be shown all over the place for everybody to see.
I must admit, I've never been to a DGC before, and that would be an experience that I'd love to attend, I must admit. These teams, having come across from all the different places in the world, I mean, literally in the world, we've seen a lot of the players from Lead Pro, if I'm not mistaken, are internationals. We've got a couple of internationals here in this game as well. Not 100% sure who they are, but I do remember Nyanfo telling me that at one stage. But it should be very interesting to see how these guys do it. Obviously, the internationals probably won't come through, but that's what these guys have reserves for. I hope they got enough reserves anyway. And it would be very, very exciting to see how these guys play in a very live environment. Unfortunately, being Overwatch, it has no local servers in it. You can't host it offline, so we would still be playing on the same ping and everything. But these guys would at least get the chance to sit with each other, get that team spirit going. And I would love to meet a couple of these guys and shake the hands of some of the players here, because, man, these guys are just fantastic. We do, if you guys are wondering what the pause is for, we just have Krakens who's needed to restart his router at this stage, and then we'll get cracking on the third game, which would be on Nimbani to get back to the game at hand at this stage. We're reveling in the DGC at this stage, but we do have a finals on our hands at this stage.
Yes, we are in the finals of the Community Cup. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, welcome to the Versus Gaming Community Shield 2 Cup, where we have Noobs Inc. versus Team Virtual. Sorry about that.
Team Viral.
Team Viral. Oh my gosh, I do apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, Noobs Inc. was the winning team, so they actually got a one map advantage, making it 1-0, but they just took the first map, which was Watchpoint Gibraltar, so that gives them an advantage of 2-0. They actually just have to win one more map, and then they actually get this. Yes, for us, we got one more because it's bets out of 5.
So most importantly there, Saber, this is Nimbani. What does Viral have to do to be able to do this? And I swear, if you say Bastion, sir, I'm going to slap you at DGC.
Yes, okay, I'm not gonna say a Bastion or anything like that. I haven't really tried a Bastion in quite some time for this. But what we noticed is the fact that they tried a very aggressive push on when they were defending, and that obviously didn't work for them. So they have to try more of a passive approach for this. So yeah, I think they're gonna have to put away the dive comp and anything like that, and try something differently for them.
One hero that I have to point out that we did see in Watchpoint Gibraltar from the side of Team Viral was the Ana. They preferred to run that on the defense as opposed to the Zenyatta that we saw out of Team Noobs Inc. And Nimbani is a fantastic map for Ana. She can sit on that back ledge just on the left-hand side of the payload there on that first control point and get a good amount of healing around the board as long as you got good accuracy. And Rain has, in fact, picked up the Ana at this point and can sit there nicely with Gyro on the soldier if they go for the more standard classical defense of this. And you've got Sigs and Krakens who can just fly around and put pressure in the face of the attacking team. We do see, very interestingly enough, Silencio going on that Reaper. So not a lot of long-range damage, just pretty much coming out from Gyro, but a lot of mobility coming out from the side of Team Viral in this first point. And it'll be very interesting to see how they do it against this offensive side from Noobs Inc. We do see the Zarya coming out from Scopes at this stage. If you guys are just joining, that is SZZ on the Zarya at this stage. He's just known as Scopes. And Mongas is still running that Lucio did really, really well. And like a Luke, again, on the attack, just preferring that Tracer to run around and just get it not behind, and annoying to complete the dive comp at this stage.
Yeah, actually, you said Silencio is taking the Reaper. I think that is due to the fact because Griffin was actually being such a nuisance in that previous map, so they're getting something to get rid of that little monkey problem they had. But it seems like they are, getting called for a pause here. I'm not entirely sure why. They are the people who actually have it. Yeah, they're calling for... There we go. That's something. Restart this. Okay, it seems like they are experiencing some problems. I'm not entirely sure why.
So it just seems like we're going to have to rehost the map. Maybe there was just a server issue or ping issue or something like that. And the guys are wanting to... just a little bit of miscommunication there. But it'll be very interesting to see. Both these teams should kind of actually, out of just respect for each other, run the same lineups now. I really hope Noobs isn't swapping up at this stage for Grifflet and SZ for Scopes. It does seem that Team Viral will be running the same lineup, and we'll probably set up in that back point there. And it'll be very interesting to see what Noobs does at this stage. Not 100% sure what the pause came and what the rehost was about, but I hope everything's sorted out at this stage.
Yeah, let's hope, as you said, that out of respect for both teams, that they will take the side lineups. It seems like on the side of Team Viral, we do have the same lineup. But so far from Team Noobs, as we always know, they do tend to take troll picks until they actually go live. So let's hope Noobs Inc. actually take that, honor and show the same respect for each other. But other than that, the pause. There's no reason to call for that. But anyway, let's focus on this. Let's look at the defense they have here at the moment from Team Viral. It seems like they're taking, making use of the high ground at the backside, not on the front, which is, something different, because I always find defending in the front high ground is always better, because then you can always stop them before they even get close to the point or anything like that. But then again, they do have the small little sneaky spots they can sneak around, so I don't know, these teams are the professionals playing at the moment. I'm just a caster, I'm just giving my opinion, so let's see if they can do anything better. And it seems like we had the same sets up from Team Noobs Inc., so that's good to see at least.
Really nice to see that at this stage. Instead, they're going down the main streets at this stage, and we do see that's the beauty of the Winston and the D.Va. They can just get on and contest that payload. We do see Grifflet jumping very deep, and against a Reaper like that is a dangerous move. But they do get, Light does get a double kill now, taking both Gyro and Rain down. And we're actually seeing a lot of deaths fall very quickly from the side of Team Viral at this stage. No one's actually there to contest the payload. Now all three members come on side, and that is an immediate first push from the side of Noobs to just flatten the side. I thought Grifflet was going a bit optimistically into the face of Silencio's Reaper there, but they managed to work out, and just that dive comp just so well coordinated at that stage, and they managed to take it instantly.
Yeah, the flank there from Lookalike was Like a Look was so well placed with the coordination of Light on the Genji, so they just completely sandwiched there. But it seems like we have the Noobs Inc. team pushing that payload, and now we see Team Varo who's pushing completely with Pulse Bomb going off, getting Joran there, and also Mongoose is close to follow up. Six was just able to get away there, but it seems like now Team Noobs are pushing the payload as far as possible. And here we have Six yet again trying to interrupt it, going crazy monkey. It seems like we have a little sand barrier there from the team of Noob side, making sure they don't get damaged. Dragon Blade going off to the lights, and only getting one kill so far. Six getting D.Va out of her mech. It seems like we just have people straggling left and right, and Six was the last on that payload. And we have a little Lucio trying to hijack, but gets taken down by Grifflet at the end.
Just what is so important in that first fight there, in the beginning of that fight, was Rain got such a nice anti-grenade onto the half of the side of Noobs Inc. and they looked in a lot of trouble. But Grifflet put the most amazing barrier between Rain and the rest of his team, which meant that there was no healing coming out from Ana. That's one of the problems with running an Ana, is just you have to be able to hit those shots. And when you're dealing with the Winston bubbles, when you're dealing with the D.Va defense matrix, there's just so much mitigation, not just of damage, but now of healing as well. Rain does have the nano boost at this stage, but has no one really to combo it with. Gyro's getting very close to that ultimate, but does go down himself, and Sig's also down. Kraken's falling very quickly, now being D-Meg, puts out the self-destruct and doesn't manage to pick up anyone. Silencio does pick off Grifflet there in the background, and now we see Silencio with the nano boosted Beyblade at this stage. Haven't seen that in a couple of metas, but there's still the Pulse Bomb picks up another one. Like a Luke, just getting so much value out of these, sticks it to the back of a tank and just can't do anything, and manages to pick off the Reaper as well, going crazy at this stage. And that payload is just 1 meter away from being pushed over that second point.
Yeah, it seems every time like Luke plants a pulse bomb on an enemy, it's just glue for the supports, because they just go close to the bomb and they end up killing themselves. But it seems like we had Team Barrow holding that player just on that little checkpoint. Graviton Surge going down, and also a nice little swift there by Light there, basically killing all of them, wiping them out. And it seems like now we have Team Viro running away from the dear lives. Silicon giving up, just giving a nice little wave, and gets a nice teabag there by Lookalike and Grifflet. So that's a nice little group orgy we have there going from the team of Noobs. And Grifflet getting a bit cocky, is sitting down, and now Six, who changed to a Reinhardt. So it seems like they are trying to do something different here to hold the enemies back at this moment.
Certainly a very nice bit of play there by the side of Noobs, though. Just knowing when the fight is over and actually charging forward to pick up a last couple of kills. And now we see a Crazy Monkey and Light going both with their ultimates. Light managing to pick up 2. Grifflet picking up the third at that stage, and now the side of Team Viral has had to bring out a May at this stage just to try and get someone on that payload to stall it out at this stage. We also see them picking up the Reinhardt on Sigs at this stage, but both the May and the Reinhardt and the Diva all going down very, very quickly. They also dumped the Nianfo pulled out that Transcendence just to make that happen and make sure no one died at this stage. Now we do see the Nano Boost coming out, but nothing happens from Gyro. Can't do anything. Rain try as well go down. Sigs has now gone down as well, and it's just a trickle fight at this stage. Kraken's desperately trying to hold at those last few feet and just eke out a bit of time here for his team.
Yeah, I see the Team Viral is just running on 1v1, stalling as much as possible, but they're all getting taken down so badly at this moment. But it seems like they are, able to, they are getting the kills at the moment now from the teams. Noob Inc. That payload is only a few meters away from the point, and there we have it. Checkpoint was reached, and round 1 is complete. Noobs Inc. managed to press it all the way to the last checkpoint with 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining on their side, so that is a lot of time to work with if it does go over into a third and fourth round.
Man, that's a lot of time that they got there, and it just seemed that Noobs was working so well in synergy there. I saw Grifflet going in a couple of times, and I honestly thought he was going a bit too deep against a Reaper, who probably, like you said in the beginning, was picked specifically to stop that monkey jumping into their face, because it kept happening that Gyro just had no space on the soldier at any stage, because he can put out a huge amount of damage and very consistent damage. But when you got a monkey right in your face, you can put out all the damage in the world, but it's not going anywhere when you can't aim at the squishy supports and you can't target prioritize like you would like to. So really good play there, and Grifflet was allowed that space because of the combination with the Scope's Zarya, because Zarya would just put a bubble on him, throw him into the face of the enemy team, and there was nothing that they could do. He just had effectively, what, 700 HP, I think it is? That barrier gives 200 HP, so an incredible amount of work there by the team, and synergy, and Light just doing a lot of cleanup on the backside, with Like a Luke being a constant nuisance and a constant damage for them.
Yeah, there's definitely some good points there, but it seems like now we have from the side of Team Viral, we have a Pharah and Mercy combination there, and that's something we haven't seen in this game yet. And also, Nianfo on that Symmetra, planting the turrets and ready to start. That's gonna be very annoying. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nianfo actually has gold on his gun, so he has a nice little golden guns, also doing a nice little dance there and a bow. So he is definitely ready, and let's see the little surprise that he has to put up there for the enemies. That timing was perfect, and already you see them. Oh, those two got taken on just in time at least.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the Symmetra works, considering they are running against the Pharmacy at this stage with that solo support, and with the dive, there goes your solo support at this stage. Mongoose gets taken down straight away, and now the rest of Noobs Inc. falling very, very quickly. It doesn't matter that you got a double tank when you're just doing so much. Light and Scopes doing a lot of work there. Silencio does manage to pick up Nianfo there, so that's a lot of damage. Like a Luke pretty much left alone now to try and defend this point. Does go down eventually to the Lucio, and that's a very quick point. Scopes just on the Diva, trying desperately to buy some time for someone to get back at this stage, and doing a good job, but eventually even the Mercy pulling out the pistol just to try and clear this point very quickly. Grifflet going back in now, and a trickle fight coming out from the side of Noobs, but they don't seem to get anyone back on this payload at this stage. They're diving forward, and at this stage they're pretty much just feeding ult charge to the enemy team. We do see Like a Luke. What a lovely pulse bomb goes there. Now they're picking up 3, and it's actually their turn on a sliver of percentage left, and they're still fighting this point.
That was actually an amazing play there on the side of Light. Pharah, who actually did a rocket barrage, Light actually did a nice reflect, forcing Silencio, which is Pharah, to move away his rocket barrage, and then basically almost killing himself at the end there, and then he just did a nice little swift strike. That is some amazing play from the side of Noobs Inc. With, like you said, a sliver of a percentage left there. They managed to pull it back, but they did get to the second checkpoint, so they only have to do one more checkpoint. If they do a nice attack with it just there, I'm pretty sure they will be able to get this payload moving.
We see Nianfo has now swapped back off that Symmetra, obviously realizing that it's not going to work against the Pharmacy, and went down very quickly and just goes back onto the Zenyatta. But this is a lot of work being done by Team Viral now. That's 3 down for the side of Noobs. Gyro going crazy in the background there. Nice sound barrier comes out to keep his team up. And they do have Zenran's ulti at this stage as well. The Mercy Raise is there, just looking for a tempo if needs be. So they've got plenty of resources, and it doesn't look like they're going to need any of them at this stage. Just no one from the side of Noobs is going to be able to get back onto that payload in time. And they do give up the first point. Only took 2 pushes, so a really nice attack there by Team Viral. And now Noobs just needs to back up and try to just make sure they don't lose anyone on this way out as we get around this first corner.
Yeah, as we saw on the side there of Team Viral, they actually had an amazing defense, but then came Noobs Inc. with a counter offense, you know, able to get that point back. But then here came Team Viral again, actually got the payload moving, and now we see Six here of Like a Luke trying so hard to get him back, but Like a Luke actually forcing him to fall all the way back. It seems like Noob Inc. is yet again with another offensive push here. You know, they're not going on, you know, holding back. They're going head on into this. It's like Rocket Barrage and for Silencio getting 1 kill, gets second down. The Mongoose Lights getting the Mercy. That's a really nice loss. And then Lights getting also the other Genji. It seems like these guys are just not having it at all. They are not. They're not gonna give Team Viral any time to relax or, you know, just take a breather. They're going full on. As you can see, Light. And sorry, excuse me, a nice revive there by Zenran, which might have been a bit wasted because they should have used the time rather. Graviton Surge going down there. Nobody can take them because Nyanfo using a nice transcend is saving his team. Another Graviton Surge going down. This time on the side of Noobs Inc. and Light yet again. Just getting the kills and calling Merry Christmas at the end of it.
I must admit, I'm not impressed there with that res. They were so close to their own spawn. It saved them maybe 5-10 seconds there. If they had just all backed up, got back to spawn, and just kept that res for a fight that they were actually winning at that stage. I mean, they had 3 men dead at that stage, and everyone from the side of Noobs Inc. was up. They had pulled out a couple of ultimates, and they just lost it at that stage. Now we see the sound barrier, and this payload has moved very little from where they actually started at this stage. You kind of want to save those ultimates for at least a little bit further, but Noob's doing a fantastic job at this stage, just using 1 or 2 ultimates. Light going mad with that Dragon Blade, gets a double kill there, and this side of Viral just has to be pushed back a little bit at this stage, and we see more and more of them just going down at this stage, and Noob's managing to build up a lot of these ultimates. Nyanfo back up to 50%, having just used that Transcendence. Scopes up to 83%, having used that Graviton Surge, and still this payload has not moved.
Yeah, Like a Luke and Light is keeping them so back in their spawn at the moment. They're gonna have to find another way out of it, but they're just struggling because Noobs Inc. is just keeping them in the spawner, and that's not something you want to see happen, you know. I mean, Light is so cocky, he's going all the way to the barrier, everything like that. But now we see Team Viral making a nice little offensive, getting down Lookalike and also Nyanfo. That's a really nice advantage. Rocket Barrage going down there. Sadly, no kills getting down, getting taken out inside from Noobs Inc. But the payload is definitely moving, and Noobs Inc. did see they are in a disadvantage at this moment and are falling back. With only Scorpion lost alive there, running for his dear life, but gets taken down at the end there. Now we see the side of Team Viral showing that they are not a team you can just bully around. They will come back with a nice fist in the face.
Viral's a great team where they're showing that they can take these fights when they all group up and they've got the resources and they fight on their own terms. They can do a huge amount of work, but at this stage they've only got 30 seconds left. This is pretty much the last fight. We do see the nanobladed Genji coming up, doesn't get any kills though. Light being completely shut out there, does even fall to 6. Now we see the Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Noobs Inc. Doesn't really get anyone down though, and it seems that Viral's very happy. They still, again, have that res up, and Siggs has his ultimate as well. They managed to get to the next point, and they have a minute just to get it to this final point, and they do still have the ultimates. They've almost got Rain's ulti as well, and Kraken's has a Graviton Surge coming out as well. That could do a lot of work.
Yeah, I was watching that last little phase before my checkpoint. While the Graviton Surge was down, Silencio was just keeping the people off him. He was actually doing so well. But as we see here now, we have the Raging Monkey, which is Griffith there, pushing them so much hard. Another pulse bomb there from Lookalike, and we have another Raging Monkey yet again. These teams are going all bananas at this moment. But it seems like Team Viral is just stick together. Nobody's actually getting any kills. Kraken was actually the first one to get a kill now at the moment. Transcendence on the side of Noobs Inc. They're actually finally push up. Lives getting a nice little ultimate. Rocket Barrage there on the side of vLTeam Viro, and we have a revive, which only a 2-man revive at the moment there. So that's actually a good revive from the side of Team Viro, because that payload is still moving and they have the advantage at this moment with 2 supports on the side of Noobs down.
That really nice tempo res there. A little bit of a wasted ultimate from Krakens there. Only manages to get at the enemy Zarya in it. Scopes would be very happy to take the brunt of that. And we saw another barrage coming out there. And Silencio is just doing a lot of work here. Gyro finishing off the kills at this stage. Silencio being pretty much uncontested in the air there. And we do see Noobs falling left, right, and center. Like a Luke goes down instantly. And this is actually a full push. After pretty much being on the last push for 2 points there, they not being able to get out of spawn. A really nice managing to just rally a little bit there, get out there, but man, Noobs has a lot of time to push in this next round.
Yeah, so what is the one thing we always said about Pharah that's uncontested? People are just gonna walk over you then, and that's exactly what they did. Team Viro took a Pharah and nobody contested. They did not have a hit scan whatsoever to contest him, and then the Mercy was just right there healing him constantly. So that is definitely a fault of Noobs Inc. They just allowed Pharah to just walk around, sorry, not walk around, fly around, because they couldn't even get close to her. You know,
and
so
exactly like you say,
yeah,
they didn't have a hit scan, and now they've drafted around it. Like a Luke has been like, you know what, this Trace is not doing anything to the Pharah. It's doing a lot to the tanks, but that's not helping us. The Pharah is doing way too much damage in the back, and instead has swapped for a Widowmaker, which has a lot of potential to just shut down that pharmacy combo. They don't have a diva. There we go. We see Scopes taking out that diva now. Another great hero. Just throw that defense matrix up into the air, and it basically nullifies the entire use of both Pharah and Mercy at that stage, and it just buys his team some time, buys Like a Luke a couple more shots on the Widowmaker, and could shut down that Pharah Mercy combo quite efficiently there. But we'll have to see, can he hit those important shots? He's landed a couple of shots already, got up to 12% ultimate charge. Kraken's already close on his heels on the Zarya though, and it's gonna be up to Like a Luke to try to stay alive at this stage as everyone jumps onto him in the back lines there.
Yeah, Eraser 6 who went straight for the Widowmaker, pushing her off, making her run all the way back. Light get taken down in the start. Mongo's getting taken down Zenrad, so that's already a nice advantage in the side of Noobs Inc. But Scopa losing his mech. Noobs Inc. might be, I don't know, taunted at this moment, because it seems like they are not working as they should. Looking like actually finally got down into Silicon into Pharah, but they, at what cost? That payload is already ticking down to the next area with only 10 seconds remaining on the side of Team Viro to actually get that. Light there making a last effort, you know, getting on a point, seeing what he can do at this moment, putting a sound barrier there, so he was actually forced to use that. But nice Silicon there, getting a nice little double kill. Then Yanfo sadly didn't get the end time.
Ooh, what a rocket by Silencio. Actually managed to pick up two kills on the 2 squishes with that 1 rocket at that stage. And like you say, just they managed to finally get the Pharah. Oh, everyone hiding behind the payload at this stage. Scopes almost got a good couple of kills there, but everyone managed to clump together behind the payload and just get out of that Diva bomb range. You know, Like a Luke did finally get Silencio down on the Pharah, but it was too late. His team had already lost the point, and you got 1 kill, but there was 4 more people waiting there to back him up, and he's now swapped across to that soldier, hoping to just get more consistent damage, and hopefully between him and Nyanfo, they can just lay a couple of shots into the air at this stage. But still, Viro's pushing forward, being very, very healthy at this stage.
Yeah, yet again, Silencio actually used the rocket barrage there, and Light came in with the deflect, but he just in time actually managed to pull away, saving himself, and there we go. They are pushing the team. Oh my gosh, they completely forgot about the payload. They split up so hard, and Noobs Inc. managed to take that just around the first corner. That is sadly a rookie mistake what Team Viro did there. They focused too hard on the enemy and forgot about the payload. They were running on the last second overtime, which just counts down in a split second if leaving for that long. But now it's time for Noobs Inc. to show us what they can do on this offensive side, and Team Viro to defend now. So this is, you know, Noobs Inc. actually has a nice advantage by 3 minutes and 53 seconds. That is a lot of time to work with. So, Team Varo, they have to work out for them at this moment.
They had that fight. They had the res still. They had the graviton surge still. And they just forgot about the payload. They had 3 kills from the side of Noobs Inc. down. And still, they just forgot about the payload. Play the objectives, not the kills. Man, that must be heartbreaking for them at this stage. I'm feeling sorry for them, but they did manage to at least capture the point. They did manage to get 1 point on the board and push that payload for a bit of distance around that corner, just to the front of the bus there in the second corner there. And if they get a decent defense here, they've got Silencio and Rain just deciding that this pharmacy combo is working really, really nicely. Krakens is there as well with a couple of bubbles to just try to keep those guys alive, and they're putting a lot of weight on their shoulders now as Leica Luke has gone back for the Tracer now. Again, no real hit scans to deal with this pharmacy combo.
Yeah, I think they are hoping for the flanks to work. They see Leica Luke already making a nice little flank there. Scope also there with Light to support him. Nobody's actually contesting a payload at the moment. Sorry, I spoke to some Krakens and Six is right there, and the rest of the teams follow up. Celio is just having a ball day, flying in the air. Nobody's stopping him with the Mercy just right there supporting him yet again. So you're gonna see some change. I think Leica Luke is gonna change to a soldier now. You know, a little hit scan to contest that Farah at the moment. Scoper getting taken down. Light seems to be the last one with Griffith right there supporting him, but nope, Griffith got taken down and Light's the last arrived there to get a little attack defense.
I must admit, it's not just the Pharaoh that's actually doing a lot of work though. It's with the fact that Rain can jump to Silencio in the air like that. It just keeps the Mercy so much safer, and it keeps them with a constant healing presence on that payload. And I love how you say that there's no one contesting it. I don't think this team will ever make the mistake of not keeping someone on the payload at any stage after that last push. And now we see a lot of ultimates getting ready for the side of Team Viral. Zenran and Gyro both having theirs. Monkey comes out, and there we see the sound barrier coming out. Gyro dropping his Dragon Blade at this stage, just trying to do some damage, but it's just a Monkey that he has to deal with. Leica Luke is there in the background, but no one can pick him up. And even though they do drop that Grifflet ultimate, they don't get anything out of it. And they've still got the res from Rain, they've still got the barrage from Farah, and this is a minute and a half already down for the side of Noobs Inc., and they haven't touched this payload.
Yeah, this combination with the Mercy and Farah is working so well. But Self-Destruct coming down at the end there gets both of them. That is now the opportunity for Noobs Inc. to move in and get that point. They used this advantage. They lost the res, they lost the Rocket Barrage, and Noobs Inc. is now just walking in. You see Six, they're going Monkeys, doing a last effort attempt to push them off, you know, buy as much time for this team. But he is not, gets taken down to end there, and it seems like we have Krakens, and sorry, Zenran is now the last alive there, and that point is going to get captured any second. Zenran's going to have to do something fast. Rocket Barrage going off, but gets denied, and the last second by Nyanfa and the rest of the team there, and that was the gap they needed, the opportunity they needed to get that point, and they took it.
You know, I said Diva was kind of a counter to Pharmacy, but I didn't really expect it in that sort of context. So, I mean, that Diva bomb, just getting them out of position at that stage. And we always talk about the positioning of a Pharmacy needs to be very important, but I never realized it was that important considering a Diva bomb would take them down. Like Luke actually dueling Sigs at that stage, managing to get the kill on the Winston. And now this payload is getting pretty darn close to that final checkpoint. So, Team Viral cannot make a mistake if they can even get you on time. Rain does have the res, but no one's getting here. There we see Gyro just not getting around the corner, and Noobs Inc. does manage to close out this map. And with that, actually takes the game. Noobs 3-0s, not dropping a single match in this entire cup.
Yep, that was definitely an amazing play there, an amazing show from both teams. Sadly, at the end, Noobs Inc. showed that they were the top team and walking, like you said, through all the teams like that. And Light yet again with the player of the game. These Genjis, my gosh, it's like the Bastion player of the games all over again, I would say. But as we can see, just getting those little shurikens and nice little shifts, and also reflects on that. That is amazing plays there. But yes, it was actually sad to see, you know, that Team Varo did such amazing defense there, and but that little gap with Scoper was able to make for them, you know, cost them that match just like that. They weren't even able to get close to the payload after that little self-destruct, and that was just outstanding play there from the teams overall.
2 mistakes from Team Viral, one being not sitting on the payload and one being that Diva bomb that just caught out 2 of their critical heroes, the only 2 with ultimates at that stage, and that's all it takes at this level. These guys were just playing so well that 2 little mistakes like that and you've lost the game. So really well played to Team Viral, but even better to Noobs Inc. They don't lose a single game in this series and they deserve their place at the DGC coming up at Rage.
Nope, that is definitely true, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I've been Serafox and Ulturism with me today, guys. Just a small disclaimer, this stream was made possible by Gamer Gadgets and SETI South Africa. Ulturism, say goodbye to our viewers.
Guys, I'm really sad that we're not going to be able to cast much more action. I don't know how much more there's going to be. There's probably going to still be some DGR action. So we're going to make sure that we can try bring you some of that at some stage throughout the weeks. Make sure to follow us on those social media to keep up to date with all our casts. All the information is there in the description below. But from myself, it's been a lovely cast, and I hope to see you guys soon. Cheers.
And from our side, thank you so much.